All right. First of all, who is Nelo? Because that's what I call you, but I know you have another name. So
Yeah. So well, my name is Chinelo, and it's Nelo for short. I'm actually a public health scientist and a veterinary doctor as well. So I studied veterinary medicine for my undergraduate, and then I went on to do a master's in epidemiology at Imperial College in 2008. And then I started working with Public Health England after that. So I'm a public health senior scientist at the moment. And then, of course, I love fashion.
yes, well, that's
So,
worlds apart.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's really weird because it has always been me. So I grew up, with my grandmother was very fashionable. So I think I got the whole fashion from my mother's, my maternal side. My grandmother was an entrepreneur and she was very fashionable, and then she gave birth obviously to children who love fashion. So my mom, she's very 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 fashionable, and my aunties, and my auntie, who's my mom's younger sister, she used to have she had a fashion house in Lagos in Nigeria.
Okay.
And I remember when I was on holiday from university, I would always go down to her, to her boutique, and try different stuff. And she used to, I used to model for her as well when I was younger. So I've always, I've always loved clothes, playing with clothes, being in front of the camera, even though I can be shy, but people don't believe I am shy because they feel like, how can you wear all these bright colors and claim that you're shy? You're nowhere near being shy anyway. So that was so my love for fashion has started way as long as I can remember. And I remember when I was in veterinary school, which is quite conservative, if you know anyone who read veterinary medicine, they didn't quite understand me because I was the one student who always got in trouble because of the color of my clothes. Yeah, which is weird. So obviously I did veterinary medicine in Nigeria, so it's different. The educational system there is different as well. So they didn't quite understand how someone will come to school wearing pink or bold colors when you're meant to wear more. They kind of attributed the more fashion to intelligence, I think. So they felt like if you spent your time on fashion, then you're not spending time reading what you're supposed to be reading, kind of thing. So, but I guess it's been my calling anyway, because when I speak to my friends who I grew up with, then they were like, they're not surprised I'm doing this now because I've always had it then. But then I wasn't allowed to express myself, I guess. Okay. And then once I moved over to the UK and, and living in London, I think London allowed me really to be able to express myself because I came into London, I'm like, oh my God, look at everyone is free and they can wear whatever they like, and they can be whoever they want to be. And then that allowed me to actually express myself more. And so, I didn't feel like anywhere wearing the prints or wearing the bold colors anymore because in London, metropolitan city, everyone, in fact, you were not even bright enough. So that's been my journey really.
So you were born in Nigeria?
Well, I was born here. My parents had migrated here to school. If you remember I guess in the 70s and 80s when Africans used to come to the UK to school and then they had family and then they end up taking their kids back. So I was born in the UK, but then obviously I had to go back with my parents when they were ready to go home. And yes, I spent the most of my adulthood in Nigeria, my childhood, and of course, early part of my adulthood in Nigeria until I was able to relocate when I was older.
Okay. How, as an aside, being born here and then going back to Nigeria to live, how did you make the adjustment?
You see, I think because I left when I was quite young. I remember usually having these dreams of Easter egg. So I remember having dreams of a chocolate egg, and I didn't know what it was. And it was only when I relocated back and I saw Easter eggs in the store that I was able to piece them together. I was like, oh my God, it really, really did exist. And it goes to show, probably when I was young, my parents must have bought me Easter eggs or something. I must have enjoyed having them.
So how old were you?
When we relocated, I was 4.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah. So I was quite young. Yeah, I was quite a toddler at the time.
And you came back here sort
I
of,
came back in my early 20s.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So when you came back, you were an established veterinarian?
Yes, so I had, I'd graduated from university, and then my parents felt like, okay, fine, now you can do what you want to do, I guess.
Okay. So did you
you've
ever
paid
do
your dues. You've paid your dues now.
right. So did you ever go into the area of working with animals?
No, not at all. No, so once I came here, I just decided I was going to. I've always loved to do public health anyway. When I was even in school,
Yeah.
that element of veterinary medicine, where I felt more comfortable was in public health. So
Okay.
once I came here, I just decided to do that for my master's degree.
That is good for our readers and our listeners, you know, in terms of looking for a career path, you know.
Yeah. And I must say, I really enjoy, studying diseases and and the determinants of diseases. That it's my passion as well. But I guess fashion is something that just makes me happy. For me, fashion is therapy, really. Because getting to do dress up and feeling girly or feeling beautiful in a dress and stuff, for me quite therapeutic. So for me, I use fashion as a way to escape, really. And I think that's what my business has really done for me as well, especially in this pandemic as well, in the midst of it all. Honestly, I think for people who, I wouldn't say, I think most people actually discovered their love for something during this pandemic, because
Yes.
I think if you didn't have a love for something, you definitely would have struggled more. So for me, I was always busy. Even though I was busy at work, I was still always busy, because I then had this thing where I was always trying to create something. I was looking at colors, patterns, just thinking about what to create next and what to do next. And so yeah, so that's been quite therapeutic for me as well in this season.
Tell me, what's the name of your company, so we know?
So we're called Kumo London, and Kumo is actually my name, actually. So so I did a rebranding in 2020. We used to be called ATM Collections, which, don't ask me what it means. It didn't mean anything really.
All right. Okay.
But it was, I think I struggled when I started the business, because I think I just started it out of just the love for it. And I didn't really I didn't have any strategy, any business strategy. I had no business knowledge. I didn't understand what business was, like business. So I just felt like, oh, I just want to let people, I want people to, have a feel of African print. I want people to experience African print. I just want to own a business. I want to let people share my love for print, on e-commerce and stuff. So I just, let's call it this. And we just called it ATM Collections. And then it was only when I started understanding what branding was and how important it was to have, a brand name that stands out, especially amongst your competitors, and all that elements around branding and all that. So I decided, oh wow, okay. So I started going through the process, and I think again in the pandemic, it gave me more time to actually, think about this as a means to survive or a means to live, rather than just a hobby, I guess.
Right.
And then I started then thinking of, okay, how can we build it in a strategic way, have a proper plan on how we're going to scale, and how we're going to evolve, as we move forward. So we rebranded in August 2020.
2020. Okay. Not that long
Kumo
ago.
London.
Yeah.
Kumo London is my name. It's actually my full name. So it's Chinelo Udoka Maureen Obi. So that's my full name. And then, of course, I guess because I live in London, we just put the London behind it. So yeah.
Okay.
And I think it actually represents who I am as a person. I want people who wear Kumo London to feel happy, to be vibrant, to be able to express themselves, to feel, the vibrancy, and also be unapologetic. I think that's very important for me, that you're able to be who you are, who you want to be, and in your own skin, and not feel like you need to explain yourself to anyone. So that's what I want people who wear who wear my brand. That's how I feel, and that's how I want the women who wear my product to also feel.
Okay. And that leads me nicely into when we spoke in the beginning, and you were saying in terms of the fashion, you wanted it to be something which people were comfortable to wear anywhere, as opposed to it must be a wedding or some big event, so you get a nice African outfit. But that it's something that you can go to the office in and feel comfortable with that. And I see that in some of your designs now. They are definitely work items. You know, you can a nice suit and you can go to work in that. And I kind of think, excellent, that is good. Now I know you work with well, you tell us, what is the process? How does you turn out these beautiful outfits?
So so one of the elements of the business, obviously living, you know, having grown up in Nigeria and having spent at least a better part of my life in Nigeria and growing up there, I understand what the economic power of women are in Nigeria. And I think for most African women, you know, not most African women, a lot of women, you know, in Africa struggle with being able to, you guys, I'm in a meeting. Most, you know, African women, they struggle to be able to be empowered, especially financially. I think it's a big thing. Not only sometimes are they not allowed to be who they want to be in the world, they are also not allowed to own their own, you know, be financially independent and be empowered. You know, they kind of live underneath the wealth of the men or their partners or people around them. So one of my vision really is to be able to enable, you know, the brand is also to be able to enable these women, to be able to give them jobs, to be able to provide jobs for them so that they can make money for themselves and for their family, you know, to be able to get the basic things of life, you know. So for the brand, we empower, we use local artisans, basically in Lagos and then eastern part of Nigeria. And of course, when I went to Dakar, I also did experience the same thing. So for me, it's about finding women to give work to, really.
Yeah.
So I'm not being a sexist, you know.
No,
I just wanted to, I feel like they need more encouragement. You know, a lot of people just want to be appreciated for, you know, for who they are, and they just want to, once they see that, oh wow, that you like what they do, they feel more empowered to do more. So for us, it's identifying, you know, those women and supporting them, providing work for them, you know, but again, ensuring that they're able to maintain the quality that we want to present for our brand.
Okay, so stepping back now, who does the design then?
So I design my clothes here. So I design, and then they hand make them for me.
All right. As a lay person, who actually makes the design on the material?
So the materials are just sourced. So African prints are, I think the majority of the prints are made in Ghana. Some of them are made in Togo as well.
Oh,
so they are kind of
where's the other place? Ghana.
Togo.
Okay.
Yeah, they're open source actually. So we just buy the fabrics from the market.
Okay.
But what I do is, rather than just going to the work, because I'm not there physically, I have women owners as well, business owners who go into the market to buy them as that's their business. So they sell the print.
Okay.
And so, you know, I just work with them in terms of picking out the prints that I want for my designs. And then, you know, they're moving it on to the people who make them for me in Lagos.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you not only work with the artisans in Nigeria, but you also are supporting African businesses in Ghana.
Yeah.
In Togo.
Yeah.
Because you're buying the
exactly.
material.
Yeah.
And that is excellent. Wow. Okay. And how many women would you say you have working for you in
I think it would be difficult
with you?
Yeah, it would be difficult to put a number on how many women, because it's kind of a chain trade. So, you know, you have the ones who probably just run to the market to buy the threads and whatever that is required, because I don't live there anyway. So obviously I rely on a team of individuals. I have my my personal assistant who helps me with the coordination of things and make sure that things meet the quality that I want.
That person here or there?
there. So this is now like the overseer, the person that oversees everything. So oversees the tailors, the fabric suppliers, the courier service, the delivery service from Lagos to UK. So it's a long chain. And of course, we don't employ them directly because we're still a small business.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the time we grow, by the time the brand grows, the dream will be to actually have our own factory and warehouse where we actually employ the people and pay them and keep them to do the work. But for now, we're just kind of buying that third-party supply kind of thing, and just buying into other people's businesses.
And it begs the question: what are the challenges that presents?
I think the biggest challenge will be logistics for sure.
Okay.
Because there are different, parts of the chain that you don't have any control over. Obviously, in terms of economy, the currency exchange rates,
yes,
dwindle. So you can't really say for sure this is how much it's going to cost you to produce an outfit, even though when the end user expects it to be sold for a certain price. So that's been a challenge. Like I think fairly recently, I think it was in this lockdown, normally it was easy to transfer money from here to Nigeria without any problems, but then they had a few. So I think in the last 3 months or so, since this year, I think, we've been having difficulty with money transfer because of changing regulation, which we don't have any control over.
Okay.
That's been a challenge.
That government regulation?
Yeah. Because the UK, they want you to, why don't you spend the money here? They want you to spend the money here, right? They don't want you to be taking the money out, the pound out of the UK. But then of course we know if we do our production here, the pricing is going to be much more expensive than we have it at the moment. Yeah. So I would say that with logistics for sure, in terms of delivery, sometimes we have custom issues, which again, we don't have any control over because again, we're using third-party delivery.
Custom this side or?
Yeah, more this side. Yeah, more this side. Yeah, more this side. Of course, taxation. So it's a lot of challenge, especially as the business grows and you're getting more orders in, and then of course that becomes the risk of bringing things increases, because if you have goods worth maybe like £5,000 being seized by customs, then that's a big problem for the business, isn't it? Because we're not able to cushion the effect of that kind of loss.
Right, because you've already said how much the product is retail.
Exactly. So if we have like cost, like I think it was in October, we had in October of 2020, some part of the delivery we were expecting was seized by customs, and so we couldn't get the goods in, because I think in the people who bring in the goods, the courier company, they also have other people who they bring in goods for. So it's not just Kumo London goods. So the issue could have been from any of those customers, any other customer. But then because it was in the same pallet and it was held by custom, everybody's goods were held at the same time. So obviously those kind of challenges, if we had photo shoot, we had to cancel our photo shoot. So there was a ripple effect.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We had to cancel our photo shoot. We couldn't release our collection because obviously the collection was being seized. And then we had to think about, what do we do next? Because with custom, you can't really say when it's going to be released. So you just have to think, what next? Do we do another production? And then of course the loss that comes with that.
You'll have the same challenge.
Exactly. So I would say logistics, really.
Okay, all right. What about this whole thing? Have you heard the expression crab in a barrel?
Sorry?
Have you heard of the expression crabs in a barrel?
No.
Okay. It's the whole thing where they say Black people can't work together. And they say that you see somebody who's doing well, and instead of helping them up, and then when the person gets where they're going, they give a hand up to you. So therefore, we all do well. Somebody's up there, and you pull them.
Pulling people down. Well, I personally, I think it's more like a mindset thing. I think it's unfair to kind of put everyone in the same, generalize and say Black people do that, although I can see how people can perceive that is the case, because it is true. There's no denying the fact that people like to not share their success stories or help people show them the way, you know, when it's so easy. I think it's a mindset thing. I think it's also a sense of lack. You know, when someone feels like, oh, because I struggle so much to get here, then you have to struggle to get there as well.
Yes.
It's all about mindset. So
Yeah.
I think it's a case that we have to look deeper to see, like, why do I behave this way? And why do I feel like somebody has to go through my pain to be able, when I've already gone through the pain? That's the reason I went through the pain, right? I went through the pain so that someone else doesn't have to go through it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, but I think it's mindset. And I think hopefully the more people begin to shift, and I think there's a mindset shift with this generation as well.
It is, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
the younger people now are more confident.
People are much more confident now, and I think young people as well are becoming more open as well, you know, as to sharing. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just, someone is trying to send me a message. People are more open to sharing their success stories.
Yes.
As well. Although I do feel like we don't support each other as much as we could.
Exactly, yes.
And we always kind of wait until the person had become successful before we then say, oh wow, yeah, you know, give that hailing.
It's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you support me, I will get successful, and then I can support you and vice versa. But yeah, I get that. The other thing you do well is plus sizes.
Yes.
That's right. That is a big draw, I would imagine, because we are quite large, some of us.
To be honest, I think it was part of the thing that also learned in the business as well.
Okay.
That we did have a lot of plus size. I didn't think that was the case. Because I started off with small sizes, and then I felt like it wasn't even, people weren't responding to it. But I guess, yeah, because I was focused on, you know, and I think again it's about representation. You know, you see people and you feel like everyone is slim and, you know, wear size 0 and stuff, and you know, you're not being real. Yeah, but yeah. But I do a lot of plus sizes now, and it's actually one of my most popular, actually, the plus sizes. Yeah, are very popular.
Exactly.
But then again, I also have learned that I don't have to also I should allow women of all sizes to be able to feel my brand as well. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm not, you know, my brand is not open to any particular size. And that let them then decide if they want to buy into the brand or not.
Right. Well, where do you get your models from?
So we source the models like online, really.
So they are professional models.
Yes. Most of them are professional models. Yeah. Another thing again I learned early is I tried to not associate family with my business, you know, because I didn't want any pressure on my family in terms of like being productive or efficiency.
Yes,
efficiency is a big thing for me. And so if I want efficiency, then I have to pay for it. Yes. But you know, when you want friends and family to do things for you, then you have to go by their own schedules. So again, that could derail my own vision. So early on, I took that on, and I just said, you know what, if I want this to work, then I have to be able to pay for it to work. Fair
enough. What is it for the customers now? They've seen something, they're ordering it. How long does it take?
So ideally, it should take like a week for a UK order to be fulfilled, 3 to 5 working days, ideally. But we have struggled in the pandemic, especially, you know, again, we're trying to create a variety for our customers to buy into. And for us to be able to create a variety for customers to buy into, we might have some products that are online that are almost like customized. Yeah. So we make them as the customer orders them. So we do, and that's just for us to be able to have a diverse catalog for customers to be able to buy into, rather than just having like 1-2 products, you know. Okay. But for the majority of our products, a UK customer will usually get their product within 3 to 5 working days. And our international customers anywhere in the world should have it in like 10 to 14 working days, depending on the mode of delivery that they picked. If you pick a DHL delivery, then you get it in 3 days. But if you pick like a standard delivery, then it should be at least 10 to 14 working days.
Okay. And is everything online? Do you have a store like in London or anything?
No, we don't have a physical store, but we do have, like, once in a while we do pop-ups. So, we had the John Lewis pop-up throughout last year. Okay. And we're also hoping to go back to John Lewis at some point this year as well for another pop-up. Okay. And, we do pop-up once, every so often during the summertime. Obviously, we've been in a pandemic year now, so we haven't got anyone scheduled. Normally, we do have them scheduled, yes.
Jane. And I can't not talk to you about the hats and the hair, the
headgear, the
absolutely so stunning. You say, oh my gosh, right. So, and then I'm looking, and you see this lovely wrap that's made. But when you're buying it, you're not buying it ready set up, or is it? It's
no, you have to make them. Yeah, you have to wrap them, but it's not so difficult.
How does one know how to do that?
It's not so difficult actually to get them done. It's not so difficult to get them done actually. You just you take it comes like a piece of cloth.
Yes.
And you literally just put it around your head. And you just play around with it. I guess it's easy for me to say because I'm used to doing that.
You've been doing it all your life, yes? Some of us.
Yeah, but we do have pre-made ones. We do have pre-made ones. Yeah, we do have not a lot of it, to be honest. Because again, I wanted to focus. The idea would be to focus more on the outfits. Okay. And I think with making this is obviously stocking them. Hopefully, as the business grow and the need, if that's what my customers want. So right now, I'm going by what my customers are asking or wanting more. Yeah. So I try to make sure those things are staple products and are always available for them to buy anytime they go on the website.
Okay, so final thing now. In terms of, I see something, I love the material and everything, but I like the material of this one and I like the design of that one. Is that possible? Can we say, okay, can I have that style with that material?
So I don't do customs now. I don't customize anymore now. Okay, not that I don't customize anymore, but I try not to do custom orders because it takes, again, it's a ready to wear. So what I want the brand to do is whatever you see, what you see is what you get, really. Okay. Just like you go into Next or Zara and get something.
It's ready to wear.
You get your size. Yeah.
Okay. So do you do for children?
We did try for the kids. I think when we first started, but the problem I had, I think in the beginning, I tried to do multiple things at the same time, which was a problem. Okay. But now we're focused now more on women. Because with the children, you also have to think about the sizes. So are you going to do toddlers? Are you going to do the older kids? Again, and it's the same thing. So you're doing sizes. So that becomes a problem. We tried to do the men this year, which has been okay.
2021.
Yeah, this 2021, we introduced a range for men during Valentine's. We introduced a range for the men during the Valentine's season. Okay. It hasn't done so well, I guess, because again, most of our demographic is women that come to the website anyway. But we wanted to try it because I got a lot of like, oh, you're not doing for men. You don't do for men, and you haven't done for men. I said, okay, fine, we'll try the men's one. So it hasn't done so well. Although, like I said to you before, in the pandemic, fashion has actually struggled. Yeah, so it might not be.
Nobody was going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It might not be a good time to judge if the men's, the men's fashion was going to do well or not. But we'll try it again. This summertime, I didn't want to do, because again, I still had from February, so I didn't want to introduce new stock again, because people are not really going to go on holidays, so there's no point doing shorts and stuff for them. So hopefully in 2022, we might be able to try it again and see if that works.
Okay, that is fine. And what about accessories? Because I know you do accessories as well.
Yeah, we do have, we do a stint of accessory as well, with the bangles, the earring. So these are things that we introduce, like we have third-party supplies for. So it's not like I'm designing them or anything, I'm just kind of introducing it based on like just to give my customers more option to get accessories to accessorize their clothing. If they're buying something from the website, and they can get an earring or a bangle or something to go with it, or handbag to go with it.
Okay, I noticed you sent me a photograph and you're sitting down, but there's just a peep of the shoes that you have on. And they were really quite stunning, like blue and white and pink and everything. It was really, I thought, ooh. So, I immediately went towards it. Oh, that looks nice. So is that an area that you do, or you get your shoes from elsewhere? Or
my shoe, that's not African print shoes, is it?
It matched the outfit.
It just matched. So my second love is shoes. I love shoes anyway. So all the shoes that we use in the photo shoot, they're all mine. I have like tons of shoes. So
okay, because it was it was stunning. So I thought, oh,
really?
It
was away from my own personal collection.
Okay, all right. What would your advice to be to young people now who want to get into the fashion industry?
I think there's one trend. I don't want to believe that the trend is true, but there's this trend of wanting to get rich quick.
Oh, yeah.
Or wanting to be successful quick, like we can do it tomorrow. I don't want to believe that trend is true, but it seems to be like a trend thing where everyone feels like, I need to be successful, and to be successful, it has to happen now. And if it doesn't happen now, then it's not for me. I think there's a lot of that. It's quite deceptive, really, especially in business. If you think that you're going to get in business and it's going to be successful straight away, then I think there's a bit of deception there. So I would say that one, it has to be something that you're really, really passionate about. Like you love it so much. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't do, there have been times when in my business when I felt like I can't do this. But the truth is, I actually do love dressing up, and I love to just make new outfits, even just for myself. I just said to you now that I love shoes. I love shop. Before I went into business, I used to shop a lot from like Zara and Co.
Yes.
So I always love fashion, So for me, it's like, it's an expensive hobby. Yeah. But I love it, right? So I think that's one thing for any entrepreneur, any aspiring business person, is to do something that you're really, really passionate about. And that if something happens while you're doing it, you will always say, if I had a second chance, I'll still do it again, because you love it. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the thing. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, of course, would be the consistency, which everybody talks about, like always turning up, which is very hard, I must say. Always turning up and always giving it 100 every single time.
Well, I think we can safely say that you can tick that box, because that's how come we met. If you weren't,
I know.
excellent customer service.
Some days I have my bad days though.
Well, we got you on a good day. We got you.
It is very tough. It is very running. Would I do it again? Definitely 100. 100. In fact, I never even thought that I would ever run a business in the UK. With all the how it is. They say, oh, Black people are never successful in this and that, and we're never consistent. We never offer good service. We don't have good customer service. We, all the negative things that comes with running a business as a Black person in the UK,
Yeah.
And even from customers who also would come and say to you, oh, I only wanted to buy from you because I knew it was a Black-owned brand, and I always, I'm so sorry, but I'm like, I thank you so much for wanting to support me, but I don't want you to support me because you feel like do you understand? There's the word I'm looking for, right? Patronizing me, right?
Okay, yeah.
Being very patronizing and stuff. So
you want them to actually love
appreciate the brand because you love what the brand is about, right? Yeah. Buy into the brand, whatever brand it is, because you love what the brand is about. Don't say, oh, I'm giving my money to black. For me, I'm like, excuse me, are you now saying that I'm less of, if not because I'm black, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing? Or, I find that a little bit, but that's me personally though. Because what happens then is they then start getting disappointed because they've come in with that kind of notion. Mm-hmm. If you had two brands, for example, one is owned, let's blind it, you don't know who owns the brand, black or white. I have had bad experiences buying things from Amazon. Mm. And I don't go about talking about how Amazon is owned by a white person or not, right? You can have a bad experience by buying into a brand. Yes. Don't then say that because the person is black, that's what you didn't expect anything more. I think coming into that with that kind of notion is a bit like, come on, right? It can happen to anyone. It's not happening because the person is black or white. It's happening because it's meant to happen, or that was how it was designed to happen. Yes. So I think that's one element of the business that I don't really like, when people say, oh, I'm supporting you because you're black-owned business. And I love, I appreciate that. But don't just support me because I'm black-owned business. Support me because you love what the brand is about. You love what the brand story is about. You want to support a small business. Yes, you want to support a black business, but you also want to support this business. And then, don't go looking for, because then you then say, oh, if not because of this, then that, or oh, I didn't expect anything more because it's owned by a black person anyway. Come on, it can happen. I've had bad experiences with had bad experiences with Facebook customer service. Yes. I don't go telling Mark Zuckerberg, I expect more from you. Yeah, of course I expect more from Facebook, but not because it's owned by Mark Zuckerberg, right? I think we need to be able to balance that as well.
Okay, all right. And what would your final word to the readers? What's your final word that you'd like to say?
My final word. Well, I hope that we're able to provide for our customers to maintain our high quality in terms of the quality of the product, but also in terms of the quality of customer service that I want my customers to feel loved each time they make a purchase from me. And of course, like I just highlighted, it doesn't mean that it will be 100% all the time, because again, like throughout the story, you see that there are certain elements of the business that I don't have control over. Right. But as much as I can control the ones I can't control, my dream is to make sure that every experience is appreciated and people feel appreciated with every experience. So my prayer really is that I'm able to provide that, and that I'm able to continue to scale my business, to be able to provide good customer service, high quality product, and that women who, all the women that my product come in touch with will feel the love that each product is used, is made from.
Right. Every experience is, you said something, I want to capture it. You said every experience
is memorable. So I want them to have a memorable experience, right. And that, with every product that they buy is made with so much love behind it, which is what the brand is all about.
Ah, there we go. So I want the what's the word for on the cover? There's got to be something that
catchy.
Kumo fashion made with love.
Kumo London,
sorry.
That's all right.
They won't know what we're going to talk about you. It's all right, but made with love is going to be somewhere on there.
Made with love, yes, it's definitely made with love. Definitely made with love.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beverly. I can't wait to read. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
Right. I'm going to stop the recording now, then we can just talk.